Hi there, and thanks for watching my latest video. Basically guys, I need your help on voting for the next Free Plains army, and this is what this video is going to be all about. It's going to be about giving you a bit of background to each army rather than just a couple of paragraphs. Anyway, let's get on with it. And here we are at the Epic War Gaming Forum. And it's as easy as this to vote for. Follow the links in the video or information box, select the army you want and click submit. You don't have to be an Epic War Gaming member to do it. Anyone can do it. You can even leave comments in the forum without being a member. That would really help me guys. But the rest of the video is going to be about each army and give you a little bit more flavour of what they're going to be like before you vote. So here we go, we've got the Damned. The Damned is your typical undead army, and most of my ideas have come from the old Games Workshop codex from about 10-15 years ago, where all the undead were all put in one codex. So you had zombies, mummies, vampires, you could find them all in one codex, and you could basically field what you wanted. However, in Free Plains are going to be divided up into three different categories. There's going to be Necromancer, which is going to be a magical sort of army. There's going to be Vampire Count, which is going to focus more on characters. Then there's going to be the will-driven guys, which is basically an undead army which doesn't accept it's dead, and by its sheer will and determination has risen up once more to finish off whatever it failed to do in its own lifetime. Those skeletons in those guys will be a bit harder. The Vile. The best way to tell you about the Vile is to tell you their backstory. Evil dwarves or dark dwarves who broke off from the main dwarf body forged their own empire, except they had no men, or they didn't have enough dwarves to form their own armies. So instead they rose up demons who they encased in armour and then entrapped them and enslaved them with warts. And that went fine for a bit until they rose up a very powerful demon called Angrus. And Angrus turned against his masters and enslaved the dwarves, and now it is the Vile who are the masters and the dwarves the slaves. Not much to tell you about this army so far because I'm not 100% sure how they'll work, but they're going to be an attacking army. They're going to be quite different from other demon armies. Yeah, that's all I've got to say about the Vile at the moment. The Centaurs. Well, they're going to be a very Mongolian, an old-style Genghis Khan Mongolian army, where they're fast. They'll probably be able to nip out of combat and shoot as they run away, and so they're going to be a fast attacking shooting army. But they're going to have no real hard troops, if you know what I mean, like the elves or the dwarves or even the humans. It's going to be hit and fade tactics for them. And to be honest with you, they're not doing that well on the forum either. So I can sort of understand now why you don't see many fantasy centaur armies out there. In fact, I think this would be the only centaur army I've ever seen if I did curate it. The Lords of the Wood. This one is my personal favourite choice. As you can see with the illustrations, I've generally spent more time on them. What can I tell you about them? Anything you can find in a wood, such as lions, tigers, rhinoceroses, elephants, you'll be able to feed in this army. Plus there'll be all the old fantasy stuff in there too, like fairies, unicorns, dragons, all the rest of it, plus all the elemental stuff in there as well. They're not going to have magic items as such or be allowed to use them. What they'll be able to use instead is ancestors or spirits. So you give a special spirit to a lion general and he will get an extra attack, for instance. And that's all I can really tell you about them. If you want to get a better feel for them, you'd have to read the rules, sort of understand how beast units work, because that's all they'd be. They'd be a beast army. The Amazonian women. I think, well, these guys are doing quite well on the forum, and I think I know why. But anyway, these guys would be made up of 2 agility, 1 army, which would give them a good save. The army style, I feel, would be sort of average cavalry, average infantry, brilliant skirmishers. All their army would do poisoned attacks. Special units could be, like you can see at the moment, like riding a massive snake into battle, riding a tarantula, or tarantula riders, pterodon riders. They'd have priestesses, which would be their wizards, and so on. Dracus's hordes. And Dracus is the big evil deity in the free planes so far, and his demons would be more traditional demon looking with horns, hair and hooves. He'd also have like warriors which have turned or have been seduced by his dark power. He'd have cultists, he'd have half beast, half demons as well, i.e. beastmen. Their special rule would be that demons are unbreakable, but if you killed the leader, then all the demons underneath that would instantly disappear. So you'd have like a chain of command. So if you killed like a mid-ranking demon, you could wipe out 1 or 2 units. Because demons are the imaginings of another demon, you see. So if you kill that demon, then you kill all the demons underneath him. The lowest ranking demons just have mush for mind, so they can't imagine anything. And that's their special rule. The goblins. I think the goblins would be a lot of fun. It of course would be a massive horde army. And in free planes you've got the 2-to-1 rule, which basically means you half your battle stress if you're outnumbered, and the goblins would always outnumber you. But more interestingly about the goblins, they'll have all sorts of fun war machines. Like that one there you can see is like a zorb ball with spikes which they go around chasing people round on the battlefield. They also have these mad chariots with like hamster chariots with like ogres in. They go charging about the place. And well, that's the goblins there for you. The dwarves, and these guys really are the old guard of fantasy wargaming, so it'll come to no surprise to anyone that they're actually winning on the poll so far. And as you would expect, they're going to be technologically advanced, they're going to have hard infantry, they're going to have brilliant war machines, they're going to have great firepower, weaknesses are going to be expensive, slow, and blighted with gremlins. That is a gremlin there. And basically whenever you get too much technology in the same place on the middle plane, gremlins appear and wreck it and destroy it. And so this sole reason has held back the dwarves for hundreds of thousands of years, advancing through a certain point. And that's it. I'll mention that the war machines are going to be absolutely brilliant. One thing about working in 15mm, you can really go crazy with the size of the war machine. So they're going to have like iron giants, they're going to have 3 different classes, the biggest being a titan, which goes around just smashing up everything it gets. Plus I'm thinking modular as well, so you could actually customize an iron giant to have either a big pick or a flamethrower or something like that. And that's it for them. Last, but by no means least, the Dracomancers. The Dracomancers are going to be half human, half dragon. These guys are my idea, the Tristan Skies, who's a game tester for free planes. They're going to be a warrior style army, so they're not going to have good shooting, they're not going to have cavalry units as such, they'll have fast flying units, if you know what I mean. They're not going to, I think I've said they're not going to be brilliant magically, but they're wizards are going to be quite good in combat. Every other army in free plane so far, the wizards are just pants in combat. Dracomancer priests will actually be quite good. They'll be warrior sort of shamans. I don't know what else to say about these guys. They will be the size of an ogre, so they'll be either a 1 in 2 or a 1 in 3 to kill. They'll definitely have more than 1 attack, and they'll probably have bonuses to their attack as well. And that's it for the Dracomancers. And there is the end of our list. I hope that helps when you're actually making your choice. If you do vote, it would really help us out, because it takes 6 to 8 months to write, illustrate and game test an army. So to work on the wrong one would be a complete and utter waste of time. After about 2 months, when I'm ready to release the elves, I'm going to close the poll down. Obviously the one with the highest votes will get made up next. So by voting you're really helping us out. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you if you do vote. That would be brilliant. Right then, just before I go, I've got one shout out to do to someone who's just helped me, so I'd like to help them back. This is Gnome's Lair, and it's a real cool little blog. And this guy did a review of my game, so basically it was a good review as well. So thanks for that. And I believe in karma, so he's done something for me, so I'm going to do something back. So it's a shout out for Gnome, really. So thanks for that. And it is a really good site. It's basically doing a lot of retro games. It does a few board games. He did say that he did used to do war games as well. But generally it's a little sandbox site where you can just disappear. There's loads of interesting stuff on there. Give it a look. There's a link under the YouTube video if you want to go and visit it. And that's it. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to finish on that note. Thank you for watching. Thank you if you vote. And I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Goodbye.